Today I'll be discussing non-governmental organizations or NGOs' role in disaster relief, as well as some specific examples of NGOs operating in the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. NGOs benefit disaster relief because they can provide goods and services that the government otherwise wouldn't be able to provide. For example, in Hurricane Katrina, they were the sole provider of goods and services. Broadly speaking, NGOs make life and death differences, restore infrastructure, and collect donations for survivors. However, NGOs also face serious limitations. NGOs provide shelter, food services, medical services, personal hygiene, mental and spiritual support, physical reconstruction, logistics, transportation, children's services, and case management services. In Hurricane Katrina, for instance, NGOs from all over the world gave thousands of hours in support to survivor victims, as well as hundreds of millions of dollars in donations. More specific examples of NGOs filling the gap after Hurricane Katrina is the Temple Baptist Church, which is a faith-based organization or religiously affiliated NGO that offered shelter to 300 power utility workers. Another example is University Methodist Center, which distributed critical supplies to shelters that otherwise would never have gotten the supplies they needed to stay afloat. NGOs face certain limitations in coordinating and planning because oftentimes they're left out of governmental planning for emergency disasters. So when that happens, they don't get the proper training that they need and that the government employees would get. So initially, NGOs face a lot of challenges in the beginning stages of disaster relief and recovery. There's also some parts of NGOs that just go overlooked by the government, like transportation of relief workers into disaster-struck areas. NGOs also face limitations in resources because most NGOs are not primarily disaster relief. Disaster relief is a secondary function of most NGOs. So when this happens, the NGO employees are typically undertrained to handle the situation. And they're also not suited properly for long-term care. NGOs are so effective because they're strongly motivated. They believe in a higher power, helping people, getting them back on their feet. And they also know the people in the terrain, so there's a huge, strong sense of community at play. NGOs play an integral role in emergency management and therefore deserve a greater part in the planning stages of emergency management.